Sunday. Every Sunday, side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here, relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp at mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Garino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes Pit Pass. Sunday!
34 Cougars, he has a pin. Coming off the line, she really digs him. Got a Hurst floor shift with lost-out trends. My competition coupe. Racing mag.
Yeah, my competition coupe, your competition coupe. If you've got a coupe, a sedan, a X-Car, a tracker, whatever you got, you've tuned into the right place to talk about it because you've got Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show, right here with your hosts, Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer.
How many of these goofy songs are you finding? What rock are you finding these CDs under?
I showed you. This is one I've been using for a little while.
Oh, right, that one.
Hot Rod City. I'm gonna get some mileage out.
The one that smells funny. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, you know the old car songs are always cool. You know, it was they used them in commercials, and it was really a part of Americana back then.
I am just so amazed at how many there are, and how many I have never heard of.
Oh yeah.
I thought I heard it all. I guess I haven't.
No, there's a lot. So you can hear more of it here if you like, and you can get in on it. You can call us at 516-572-7440. And as we were talking,
and if you can't shovel your way over to the phone, you could use your thumbs, and you can text us at 203-670-4127. Yes.
Right. And follow us on social media, Motormouth Radio on X and on Facebook, real _ Motormouth Radio on Instagram, and we're on YouTube. This show will be on YouTube later on today. You can see it at Motormouth Videos on YouTube. And please, I didn't say this before, but do this like, subscribe stuff. I found out something Thursday night doing Plane and Traffic.
What?
We were talking about with a fellow from the way out, like in Doc's territory.
You found out you're able to take over the solitaire game that you play.
Yeah, well, I always win. I'm a grandmaster.
Oh, good.
No, I found out that comments. Now, Keith is the only guy so far that really comments on our YouTube page. Thank God for Keith in Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
KG's Garage. But I found out that even any comment, I don't care if it's good, bad, indifferent, ugly, any comment really, that moves your algorithm up more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So Keith is helping us one comment at a time.
Comments and shares. Shares are big. So share us, especially if there's someone you owe money to. Share our video. They won't call you anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's for sure. So I got to tell you something. I had a very, very happy sight this week. My wife and I were in Walmart on Friday.
Happy sights in Walmart? I understand strange sights in Walmart. Happy? Okay, I'm listening.
Walmart, yeah, but no. I had to go to the automotive section because I needed to buy some motor oil, and that's where I go to get the best price.
Stop! Don't give out all the secrets. Come on.
Yeah, no.
Stop it.
They know the same thing.
Let everybody else go buy the oil in the auto parts store. Leave the oil in Walmart to us, okay?
The filters are never they're never in mouth.
No, the filters.
So anyway, we come out of the automotive aisle, and I don't know if it's like this in the two Walmarts that are here by me. I don't know if it's like that in others. So usually at the back one corner of the store where automotive is, and then when you come out of automotive, there's hardware, and then you're in that last aisle
where the fishing rods are.
Yeah, that's right there too. And what do I see? But on a center table, I saw hoses, like garden hoses. I'm like, garden
Okay.
hoses? What are they putting in garden hoses? And then I see these gallon jugs, and I was like, moonshine? No, chlorine. I'm like, what? And then I looked, the whole pool aisle is fully stocked with pool supplies. It's
What?
summer in Walmart. Listen, working in education for almost 40 years
Yeah.
scarred me. It scarred me right from the beginning because in
Why?
August, you'd see back to school sales.
Yes. Now you see them in July.
And I'll tell you something, as someone who went through all the years of school,
Mm-hmm.
you see a back to school sale and you're like, oh, those poor kids. Oh man, I remember when I had to do that. Well, I always had to go back after vacation in September. So
Right.
for me, it was like, yeah, going back to school. I hated it. I hated it with a passion. It was to the point where it was a real sticky point with me when I saw those ads. So
Really? It affected you adversely.
oh, terribly, terribly. But now to see summer in Walmart, I'm going to go back. I would just want to go back and hang out in the island Walmart.
just stare at the chlorine.
Yeah, we're going to look at the pool brushes. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, you got to
I guess you're
summer.
just as tired of the snow as I am.
Well, it's it'll be nice if you could do more stuff outside, right?
Oh,
Right
come on, Rick. Stop being PC. Say you're tired of the snow. Say you want it gone.
I
Do what
can't-
I do. Go to the living room window almost on a daily basis and raise your hands to the sky and go, melt. Will you melt, for crying out loud? Go away.
You
That's
know,
what
I
do.
really can't say that because we don't have a lot of snow here. We had
Um,
some accumulation, but now the rain like washed it away. It's just
Well, that's good.
like London outside. It's
Yeah,
it's
I had to shovel up off the driveway. I would say something the consistency of a 7-Eleven Slurpee.
yeah, but without color. Let's
Without, well, no, it was gray,
All right.
especially the stuff in the front.
let's put some color into this.
Okay.
Phones and say hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hello, Chris, and hello, Ray.
Hey, John.
Sir John.
I'm gonna call you a cream puff again.
Well, you tried calling me a cream puff last week on your wooden cell phone, whenever that thing you built yourself.
Dude, it's not my.
At least you sound better now.
As do you.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I was gonna start singing the national anthem. Just
Why?
but,
Why? Because I truly hate winter?
Figured it out. Thank God.
What was that?
No, not yet. We're still in. Well, Chris, you were at our meeting on Monday, our
Yes.
station meeting, and Sean had mentioned it. Yeah, the transmitter's down to like 2% power right now.
Yes.
So that kind of cascades with all sorts of different problems. It hasn't been fixed yet, but it is. They're working on it. They're working on
Yeah, I need Jim Green to bounce that off him.
it. If you can find them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, he's got to be as old as dirt now.
Jim Green, the reason why we're here.
I used to support his computer at the radio station. Yeah, a lifetime ago.
Exactly.
So I'm sure you didn't call to talk about that. What's really on your mind?
Trying to jump on Rob Leonard's. Yeah, if you're a New York person, even if you're not, yeah, the Saturday Night Live. I can't wait to watch that tonight.
Okay.
Oh, right. The 50th
It's,
50th anniversary.
It's 3 hours.
And I'm
Wow.
going to spend all three of them watching it because I don't know if you ever had the opportunity. I did. I had a neighbor that was assistant lighting director for that show and got me tickets that I went in like a VIP and didn't wait in line with the masses. And I was like, wow, my date thought I was like God.
Holy smokes.
I
Nice.
had like a 3-year waiting list to get into it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Talk about impressing your date. Nice.
Yeah, but that was back in the Gilda Radner, Bellucci,
Yeah.
70, right.
original cast.
75, 76, 77. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably about 77, 78. And, oh my God, it was funny. And he actually said to me, he goes, do you really want to go to the show or you want to go to the dress rehearsal? And I go, what's the difference?
Right.
Well, the dress rehearsal, they do a bunch more skits, and then they all sit in a room and figure out which ones they think are the funniest and cut the other ones out. Because you're going to see more at the dress rehearsal, and you can leave Manhattan and be home in time to watch the show live. I did, and oh my God, I got a lot of stuff out that nobody ever got to see.
Well,
That's funny.
you know what? I want to know, did you see, have you been to Walmart lately? Has your Walmart switched over to summer?
Right, they switch over to Halloween in August.
I know, but
Yeah.
they switched over to summer. So anyway,
Christmas is October.
I was actually having a good time in the automotive department. It really was. They seem to put in a few more new chemicals in there that are always good for us to use, and looking forward to another trip. But,
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to put up ropes in the bell between Halloween and Christmas stuff.
all right, John, we're losing you to static all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
All
I
right.
wish I could tell you it was on a cell phone. I'm
Yeah.
not.
All right, let's unstatic this. We'll catch you later.
You got it, guys. Have
All
a
right,
great
John.
rest of your day.
Thanks, John.
Thanks. All right. All right. You can, if you have a non-staticky phone, which it may not even be his fault, 516-572-7440. I did get an email from our one of our longtime listeners and friends, Liz.
Miss Liz.
She has a friend who has a, I think she's trying to find an oil leak in her Element, in her Honda Element.
Right. Oh, she's trying in her car. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had an issue with a friend's car last week, but she
Mhm.
wanted to know where there might be a car wash that could adequately wash down the bottom of the car so that they could now the mechanic can spot where the leak is coming from, freshly. And I said to her, the only thing I would recommend is one of those you spray it yourself, the old
The self-serves.
and the only one I know is down in Island Park. So I told her about that. I said, if I hear one, if anybody knows of one up near the Garden City area, let me know. I don't know if there's any up here, but if there are, let us know, and I'll
Is that
Liz.
is that one that still in the Bethpage area? It was off of Hempstead Turnpike.
Maybe, I don't know.
It was just shy of the Seaford Oyster Bay. I'm trying to think
Okay.
of what cross avenue.
Stewart Avenue?
Yeah, it could have been Stewart. It
Yeah.
could have been Stewart Avenue. I haven't been there in years.
Maybe, I don't know. So,
Yeah.
so again, I guess the mechanic's trying to find this oil leak and was
Mhm.
having no luck, which again, that is a problem.
But it is a smart idea in Liz's part to actually clean or have the underside of the car cleaned in order to spot that leak. I mean, that's basically what I do. I mean, I don't bring the car to the car wash. I actually slide under it and start wiping
Right.
everything down to find the many leaks that are in my Chrysler. But that's
Let's
That's
wipe this
the
down.
other.
Let's go back to the phones and say hi. You're on the Motor Mouths.
This is Liz. I am listening to what you are saying on the radio about my car. I appreciate very much.
Hi, Liz. But you're
Hi,
very
how
smart
are
for doing
you?
what you're doing. For cleaning or at least looking to have the underside of the car cleaned in order to spot the leak is a pretty smart idea.
Right, but listen, I would have a problem because if I clean the engine and the oil is coming out on the driveway, I could have a problem about with the village or something. So I want a professional to really power wash
Right.
and let it dry, and then the guy I am getting my car fixed to will see where the leak is. Okay.
Liz, why don't you try this? If you get like a piece of cardboard, like if you open up a cardboard box and slide it under there, under the car overnight, and see where the leak is approximately, like it could be closer to the driver's wheel or closer to the passenger wheel, or in the dead center of the car, or a little over. It's something like that. At least you can get an approximation of where the leak is. Now, a lot of times the oil will hit a steering component or the frame and roll along there and then drip down, because of course that's what liquids do.
I'll tell you something about that. When I had my wife's car in the shop yesterday to do an oil change, her car does have an oil leak also, and I know where it's coming from. But I found oil on the transmission. I found it over
Right.
the engine, everywhere, like you said, because and I know
It'll
what it is.
spray.
her car, that stupid Ecotec engine, uses this big. It's a cover that goes on the engine. That's where the oil filter adapter, is, and all, and it's behind the exhaust. So what it does is it kind of comes forward and just goes everywhere.
Right.
So Liz, you could do that, and also if by putting the cardboard down, you will help save your driveway from being
Right.
Well,
inundated with oil.
it's not leaking. It's not leaking a lot. But for example, was it yesterday? I needed a contain. What do you call that? A quart and a quarter of oil.
That's significant.
That is.
How long has it been since you added oil?
About I would say a month.
That's very significant. A quarter in a month is very significant.
Yeah.
That's a very good. That's a very active leak.
That's a lot of loss.
Unless the engine is burning some also, which is possible. The other thing you could do is, I know in the case of my wife's car, the forums that deal with that car, everybody knows where the common problems are because they've gone through it already. And that's how I found out. I went to the cruise forum and found out, oh yeah, it's the oil filter adapter. You got to pull half the engine apart. And I just said, yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah.
So you can check on Element forums.
Yeah.
Where is that?
On the internet.
Yeah, if you type in like Honda Element forums or Honda Element clubs, because your car's got a lot of club support.
Yeah,
and they would be able to a lot of times be able to pinpoint, because like Ray says, a lot of times when we have problems, we're not the only ones that do. I mean, some of our problems are a little strange, but we're not the only ones that have
I know that.
90% of the
car
problems.
My car is 20 years old and 184,000 miles, but it's not a big deal, is it?
Well, an oil leak can be a big deal. It's something you'd much rather avoid, or you'd want to fix as soon as possible. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not.
and
But
nobody wants an oil leak. I mean,
yeah.
Sightly, you have to check the oil. So to fix it is a nice thing to do.
Right. No one likes a car that marks its territory.
Yes, right. So, okay, well, I appreciate your help, and I will definitely take care of it because I.
All right, Liz, keep us posted on the progress.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will tell you. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Very good. And speaking of long-term callers.
Oh, yes.
I did something. It was nagging at me for a few weeks.
You called another radio show.
No, there was no one ready. Nothing ready to call. No, our caller Doc, who's been calling in, now came back a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I mentioned him on air. I said, "Geez, Doc, it's gotta be 10 years since we heard from you, right?"
Right.
Well, I have logbooks for every year.
I know you do.
Going
How
back
long
to
was it? 10
04.
years?
Well, I went 10 years back.
Right.
And I kept going. Now, granted, I was really skimming. I was looking at my, I have a guest list. I don't keep a list of all the callers because that would be ridiculous. But I started skimming each page, and I got back to 2013.
2013.
And I found Doc. The last known call that Doc made was, I wrote it down here. Where are we? September 8th, 2013.
Wow.
But something even more impressive.
So, oh my gosh, it was like 12, almost 12 years.
Yeah. So, so I was close. So these shows, Chris, Thursdays and Sundays. I mean, I look at the way that our show was booked.
I missed the Thursday shows. They were awesome.
I'm looking at the page that gave you the monthly breakdown. We had people booked like almost every show, and you really should look. One day you got to look through these books. You got to see guests.
2013. You got to find those tapes.
Here's the first page of guests.
Wow.
Right.
Holy smokes, we were not talking to each other, that's for sure.
There's the next page of guests.
Wow.
1 year. And I think I had to go backwards a page to when I tallied it. And I did. Let me find it here. No, that's not.
When we were great.
It was another quarter of a page. And can you see how many guests we had that year?
Yes. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, the number at the bottom. I wrote it.
Oh, I can. Is that a 3-digit number? Say one. Is that 100?
113.
113 guests.
Yes. And as
Wow.
through these books, I saw 100, I saw 120. I was like, geez, we had guests like every show.
Hmm.
So boy, that was the heyday. So
I got
that's,
tired of us easy quickly.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, yeah. Kick us out to the curb. I don't know.
Like, yeah, we've done that show.
So
There's a whole new bumper crop of people that are coming up. Well, maybe not. Maybe there isn't.
I don't think the people now who are listening, they're certainly not calling, because witnessed by the fact our same regulars call all the time.
Right.
So new people aren't calling, they're not interacting. They may be listening and watching the show on YouTube and enjoying it and taking it off the stream services too, which
Mhm.
is great. But we don't know about it. And
That's true. And I've come to realize that this show, if anything, has morphed and changed and adapted to the changing demands of the car owner. And a lot of people don't fix their cars anymore. And I find that a little strange because
no, I don't.
now I think it's almost easier to repair a vehicle with the right tools than it was then.
Well,
Then the scanner was, working on cars 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the scanner was between your ears. You had to figure out what was wrong. Now, in this day and age, you have a piece of equipment that you can plug in and kind of
Yeah,
show you the way.
That doesn't fix it. Let's
No,
go
it doesn't
to,
fix it, but it gives you a well-rounded diagnosis.
let's go to the phones and go to the caller and see what we got going on here. Hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Yeah, hi. This is Stephen from East Meadow. How are you today?
Hey, Stephen.
Hey,
New
Steve.
caller, huh?
A new caller, exactly.
Oh, thank you very much, Steve. They're trying to make the plea, and here we go. That's excellent.
I usually turn off after the show before you, which I like a lot, but I decided to listen today.
Oh, good.
Because I have a question.
Okay.
Sure.
I have a 2020 RAV4.
Okay.
Explain to me why Toyota put in the dimmest light bulbs in that car. I cannot see anything.
That's a good 2020. That's a newer one too. They should certainly be, better than.
When you say headlight bulbs or dash light bulbs?
No. I'm sorry, interior, and in the hatch when you open up the back.
Okay.
There's one little light, and it's impossible to see. We were talking about forums. The forums say, "Oh, get in there. You could do it yourself and put in incandescent lights. Put in LEDs, and you can get them off of
Amazon.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like that's fine. I'll buy the bulbs, but I cannot figure out at all how to. I'm not handy enough to put them in myself.
I'll tell you this, Steve. I have a Toyota FJ Cruiser.
Yeah.
And it's an 08, so it's earlier. But I have no problem with the dash lights. They're very nice and bright because I have white face gauges. Yeah. But I, too, think the interior lights are way, way under par in that vehicle. And other people have complained about it as well. I don't know. I think maybe Toyota, maybe they just skimped on a couple of little things that they felt would be easy to skimp on, but kept the other stuff rock solid like they're known for. Also on my car, to change a taillight bulb, they give me this little, it's like a 4x4 hatch that you got to get your hand in there with tools to get to take the nuts off the light to get, again, terrible design, which is not typical for Toyota.
Right.
But, but they did it. Now, my daughter has a RAV4, 2012, and I know I've driven that car many times. I've had no problems with her lights. So,
but basically, a courtesy light is is what it says it is. It illuminates the area. It really is not. It's not designed for to light up the whole interior.
It has I'm sorry. It also has I'm going to call it a moon roof. I'm old.
All right.
So maybe they thought they would you just use that. It's really not an overhead light. It's just the one over the.
Well, but at night, I mean, do you have map lights in the front? Do you have map lights like up by the mirror?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that I would think would be brighter than the ceiling light.
Right.
And the only other thing I could. it's almost like the best way to quantify this is if you could get in somebody else's RAV4 at night and see what their lights look like, because then you'll know if you have a problem or if you just have the same thing everybody else has.
And Steve, just a caveat, I drive an old police car. And obviously in the center of the police car is it looks like a sewer cover. And that's what, I mean, basically that's the illumination that the police install in the car. And it has a white light and a red light.
Yeah.
And that thing, I call it the sun, because it lights up the whole interior.
I mean, you're doing paperwork and stuff.
Exactly. But it's still not good enough to really look for things. Like, I can't use that light if I'm looking in the glove compartment. There's no light there because it's a cop car. It's like if there's no light in the console because it's a cop car. But the light is inefficient for those two things as well. So I do keep a small mag light in the car and use that occasionally.
I was just going to say, it's not really the best answer in the world, and I know you don't want to hear it, but because my interior lights suck on my FJ Cruiser, I do keep a couple of flashlights in the car. Yeah. And if I need to see something at night, I use those.
So you think if I just bring the car over buy the lights and just bring it to my local guy, he'll put it in for me?
Well, two things. First of all, let me ask you just the
I hate to break the seals.
I know. Well,
I hate to break the seals on it.
Well, let me ask you the elephant in the room question, the dumb question. Yeah. Have you played with the light rheostat, the light control to raise or lower the brightness in the car?
Well, that controls the dash.
On the dash. Yeah, for the dash bulb.
Yeah.
All right, so you've done that.
I went as high as it can go.
Okay, so you've done that, and you see the change in the light. It'll go down to black, and then it'll come up. Okay. You're in East Meadow. Who do you where's the guy that you use? Who's the guy that you use in East Meadow?
Well, I don't go in East Meadow. I go to by the Belmont train station.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. I can give you the name of a guy in East Meadow who's very, very good. I can't do it on the air because they consider that a call to action. If you send me an email at motormouthradio@ncc.edu, I'll send you this guy's name, address, a picture of his business card. He's right there on the turnpike, and he's very good, very reputable, good friend of ours, good friend of the show, and we don't make anything off it, obviously, but he could advise you also if you wanted to get another opinion.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Everything else in the car I seem to enjoy. It's that.
The RAV4 is great. You know what?
They're great cars.
Fantastic. I know. My daughter wants to buy another vehicle. She wants to buy like a Highlander. I said, no, buy a what do you call it? A hybrid EV, a hybrid RAV4.
Mm-hmm. That's what I wish I had gotten. That I didn't do, and that was my fault.
That's where I'm pushing it.
Supposedly they're changing the engine on it next year.
Well, let me ask you: do you have the 4 or the V6 in yours?
4. How do
you do on oil consumption?
That seems to be good. I talk about oil. I have really very, very little problems. Well, I really didn't drive it much. Okay. I was home for. I was working from home for 2 years, but now I'm retired and I drive it like every single day. So
right. Well, I'll tell you this, because my daughter has the 4, and the 4 cylinders were plagued with sticky rings, and which would increase oil consumption because the rings would stick into the piston lands, and you had high consumption. So if you don't have that problem, great. Just keep up with your oil change interval, and do that.
It's about to hit 30,000, so that tells you how much I drive it. So
okay,
I have to get it. That's the other question, if you don't mind my asking. Does the dealer really have to do the big 30,000? I say is the big one. You really have to get everything checked. Okay, just go to your guy or the guy you use in Belmore.
Yeah, we don't do that. I mean, there is a lot of stuff that should be checked if it hasn't been checked. It's not time for a timing belt yet, so that's like 60,000.
Okay.
But suspension should be looked at, of course. Brakes should be looked at. These are things that I look at when I have a car in a lift anyway. But there are some things, of course, you should always be keeping up with the filters, the oil change and filters. The cabin air filter should be done every year, every other year, depending how, much of a pollen a year we've had. Of course, tire pressure.
One thing I can do myself.
Yeah, that stuff. And the RAV4 is real easy. It's right in the glove box.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah,
I will make some decisions, but I'll definitely send it to you. So it's Motor Mouth. I'll find it online.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you 9 characters. MMR at ncc.edu. That'll get to me.
MMR. Okay.
And then
Okay,
I will
got it.
certainly send that right. I'll give you the answer right away.
I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you, and I'll start listening more.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for the call.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. All right. See that?
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot, you know, it's funny. Just to take it one step further with Steve. A lot of times, we've always discussed this. Even if you don't know what you're looking for, it's always good to just pop the hood and take a look. Just look at your engine. It is amazing what common sense, when common sense kicks in, what you can do. Like you say, cleaning the leaves out of the cowl. I know that's a stickler between both of us.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. And a lot of times, if you don't pop the hood every so often, and it happens to me too, where it's like, where do all these leaves come from? Get them out of here.
Right.
That helps. It's things like that. When you see something wet, something shiny, like we always talk about. So it's,
You know, like yesterday, my mantra with this, when my wife's car was, it needed an oil change. So it was oil filter. But as soon as I got that car in the lift, I brought it up only about a foot, took the tires off, because they get rotated on the oil change, and then when the tires are off, you're looking at the suspension, looking at the brakes.
Yep.
So as the oil's draining, then I set up my stuff, and as I'm doing that, I'm doing a brake flush. I'm just sucking the brake fluid out to flush that. And I did all of that. I did all of those services. I was done within like an hour and a half.
That's great.
Done, out, and we're finished.
That would have taken me all afternoon.
Yes, well, working on a lift helps.
But it's one of those things that I even noticed the battery was getting weak in the tracker.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to, all right, let me pop the hood and jump the battery. And when I did, I looked over at the master cylinder and I saw it was leaking out of the back, coming down along the front of the power booster. And I went, well, that's not right.
Right. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Let's take care of that.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to take care of. It's the bottom of the hour, and it's time to talk. And we are going to talk about Jewish talk right now.
Aye.
Sundays at 8 a.m., Rabbi Pearl thinks in Jewish but speaks in English, featuring talk about issues affecting the Jewish community. I'll tell you something. When we came out of the meeting, our staff meeting last Monday, I happened to walk out with Rabbi Pearl, and I had a great talk with him to the parking lot because I listened to him. Now, I'm not Jewish. I told him, I said, Rabbi, I'm not Jewish. I said, don't hold it against me. I said, but,
and he said, I'm sorry, son.
I know, yeah. I said, but your show, and I mean this with all sincerity, and I've said it to many people, it is so inspiring. This man knows how to say things in a way that's non-denominational. I don't care who you are. You can get something out of what he says. My chiropractor, who is Jewish, listens to Rabbi Pearl also. And we've had talks about that, about how he knows him personally. And we've had talks about how well Rabbi Pearl gets his thoughts across and makes you think. You know, this is what should happen when you go to a religious institution. You should walk away thinking and saying, you know, maybe how do I change that in my life? How do I make myself better? How can I help others? Whatever it is, whatever it is for that day. Sometimes it's just a matter of just thinking about things and saying, hey, you know, I feel good because, yeah, I think I'm on the right track with that. Or, you know what, maybe I got to make a little change here or there. Listen to Rabbi Pearl. He'll set you straight. And
then you listen to Motor Mouth Radio and it sets you back to the grouchy grouch you always were.
Back to the dark ages. So then we go on to the weather.
Please.
And the WHBC weather forecast today is powered by Does Bagels. As I look out the WHBC weather window, I think...
What does it do up there?
Almost looks like it's nighttime out there. They have locations in Garden City Park, Freeport, Levittown, and now open on 7th Street in Garden City, right by Grimaldi's. So today it's rain, high of 51. It's going to be warm, but the rainfall about over an inch. Yeah, it was kind of drizzly when I came in. Tonight, partly cloudy and windy, low of 29. Occasional wind gusts. I got a thing from PSE&G. They're already saying that they're going to have a problem. 40-mile-an-hour winds it could be. And tomorrow's going to be, more of the same. Cloudy skies, gusty winds, high near 35. It's kind of snotty out there.
Yeah, so, same here. Only we have slush.
So to bypass all that nasty weather talk, do we have something that can make us smile or chuckle like on a group of the hour?
Listen to you giving the big push. Yes, we do. The Motor Mouth Radio on a group of the hour. If you have any type of aerosol can product that flatly refuses to die, do you have a can of WD-40 that sounds and feels empty but still sprays? or a can of lithium grease spray that sounds hollow, but you could still get stuff out of it if you press the button. What about that rattle can of white spray paint? It's always the can of white that seems to last the longest. When shaken, the marble sounds like it's bouncing around an empty lunchbox, but white paint still sprays out the can like it's full. So if you have a can of spray lube, carb cleaner, or spray paint that flatly refuses to die, then you are part of the Motor Mouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour this week.
All right. Well, that's good. With that in mind, how did I get on? Hang on a second. How did I get on?
What'd you do? What did you break?
I'm on track 14, not track 4. That's better.
Oh, okay.
We need a little manipulated reality here. All right. So let's go to our break, and we'll be back with more Motor Mouth Radio. Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. Keep it. We got it on 90.3 WHPC.
That's right. Motor Mouth Radio, manipulated reality. I got it.
That's right. On 90.3 WHPC. Dance.
Car not running right? Let the Motor Mounts help you out at 516-572-7440.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
You're listening to the Motor Mouth.
Hey, Ray and Chris.
Did you guys read my mind?
Okay, I appreciate you having me on.
Wow, you guys finally figured it out.
Motor Mouth.
This is great. No more foolishness.
I miss my paisans.
You're a funny guy.
I've been waiting for Sunday just to ask you guys this question.
Our trained staff of 2 will help.
Well, good afternoon, guys. I need a little advice.
All right, so you got me to call in. All right.
I don't know everything. You know, you guys are mechanics.
You guys have a great show. Thank you very much. I come with a tale of woe and a warning for the younger guys.
Chris is doing jumping jacks. He's getting ready. Ray is right behind me.
Every time I get off the air, I think,
Motor Mouth.
Oh, boy, they're never going to ask me back after that one.
Yeah, this is a collect call. How are you?
Quite frankly, there are better things to do with your time.
Oh, I probably called the wrong number. I was trying to get a hold of Ray.
And I wake up screaming.
So I'm very happy to listen to your good advice.
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car.
You know, break it down for us car guys.
All right. See you next weekend.
Motor Mouth.
I know you guys usually speak Guido,
Right.
and now you're talking Pintel and Yiddish, and this morning I happened to listen to the Rabbi on your station. So it's all, you know, I guess today's Yiddish then.
Right.
There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
Motor Mouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
Motor Mouth.
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the Motor Mouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
Yeah, you might learn how to play a little alternative type music there, listen to some good stuff. I don't know, maybe. But we are back. Motor Mouth Radio, good. Long Island's only automotive talk show here with Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. And we are taking a trip down memory lane. Nice. I've got that. Tom was, threw a shout out to the Rabbi there. That was really good.
I love those promos. I got to do more of them.
You know, yeah, we're well. I know. Oh boy, we will.
Sorry, life has been getting in the way here.
I know.
Looking for active employment takes up a lot of time.
Yeah. So, well, let me see. What I thought I had.
Well, you can text us still, 203-670-4127. Like I said, if you can't make it to the phone,
yeah.
If the phone is in the garage, or if you're in the garage and the phone is in the house, you can text us at 203-670-4127. To text us is to know us and to love us. Use your thumbs wisely.
Yeah, so I'll tell you.
Putting them up your nose like usually.
I've decided. I kind of made the decision today. I need to make another purchase, another tool purchase. I just have to.
Like you don't have enough.
No, you never do. You never do.
Please tell me about your new tool.
I
that
am
you
going
want to get.
buy a pressure bleeder, a brake pressure bleeder.
Why? Gravity isn't good enough.
No, not always. No, some cars do not want a gravity bleed. A lot of times the dealerships recommended that as their go-to method for bleeding brakes was gravity, and it is nice because it's there's no other modality involved. But some cars just don't want a gravity bleed, and it takes time. It really does take time.
Sure.
You have a sandwich, you have a coffee, you check you read the times, But no, now I do have a couple of reverse pressure bleeders where basically you put suction on the wheel cylinder or caliper to suck the fluid back. And I even have one that takes shop air, uses the Bernoulli effect where it really it pulls it back faster and harder, uses a lot more suction than you can get with a hand pump. But even that doesn't work right all the time. So I want to get the only other one that there is. It's you get these adapters that you take the master cylinder cap off and put the adapter on the master cylinder.
Okay.
And you put a hose into that. So the fluid you have a chamber now that gets pressurized, and you set the pressure about 25 to 30 pounds usually. And the pressure in the cylinder forces the brake fluid into the master cylinder.
All right.
And so when you open that pedal or open a bleeder, it's forced to go down. It can't go anywhere else but down.
That's the way it sounds.
And that's how they do it in the dealerships. That's how the cars dealers do. I always wondered how they did it on an assembly line. How did they fill the brake fluid? Was there two guys there pumping the brakes like, pump, hold on, pump? No, they had a power bleed system where they would hook it up and just literally just fill the brake system with brake fluid.
But now when they do that, you have to have the bleeders open because the air has got to have some place to go, right? So what happens on the other end?
Okay, well, that's why, yes, you're right. In a sense, you're dealing with 25 to 30 pounds of pressure. So it's not a lot of pressure. The system can withstand that.
Right.
Hold that pressure. So now you put the thing on, you charge it up, and let's say you're on a lift, and let's say that the prescribed bleed pattern for your car is right rear, right left, right rear, left rear, right front,
left front.
So then you just go to that left, that right rear wheel, open a bleeder, and you're going to get fluid coming out of it. And air, whatever chunks, tacos, whatever's in there is going to come out.
It's going to come out like an aerosol.
But no, because it's got to go through all the lines, especially on an ABS car. It's going through the pump and the solenoids and all. It's slowing down a bit. When I use my powered one, the powered Mighty Vac that goes to the wheel that sucks it out, that comes out pretty fast too. But again, now you don't have to let it squirt out into the atmosphere. You can put a hose on there, put it into a container. You can recover, if you want to, unless you want to have speedy dry all over the floor again, because, you're one of those.
Well, that's what I have. I just have the one-man brake bleeder, which is a cup and a hose running into it and an air, what would you say, an air valve where the air can escape, but the fluid stays within the cup.
One-way valve, yeah. I two of those. Listen, I have a bag full of brake bleeding stuff. And some cars, I was doing my wife's car yesterday, and this is what got me. The right rear brake, I kept seeing air bubbles. Now, you got to know, sometimes they're erroneous. Sometimes it's like a fake signal. Usually when you get little tiny bubbles, it could just be air getting into the threads from the bleed valve.
Yes, yeah.
This was a little bigger. And the car didn't have a problem before that. So it's probably just me, overthinking it. Because once I put everything together and then took the car out and drove it, I said, wow, the pedal doesn't feel as great. It never feels as good as I like it to feel, ever. So I know that I'm just that guy. I'm very hypercritical. And on cars like that, like the Chevys and the Buicks, they always made the brake longer and spongier because people they want that the comfy effect of driving. They don't want the race car feel where you hit the pedal and it's high and hard. That's how I like it. So I think,
and your brake pedal too.
And that too, you're right. So not only for this, but because of many of the cars I've worked on, I think it's just the last tool that I don't have in the arsenal right now. And I'm going to start looking around. Maybe President's Day, there'll be a sale. And I'll find one online somewhere. I don't know.
That sounds like some country and western. The last tool in the arsenal.
Yeah.
Coming to get you.
Right. Well, back in the day, back in the 70s, they had, it was made by Wagner, I believe. It was a blue, they used to call it a droid. It was a blue steel ball that had like 4 little casters on it, and it would scoot around the shop floor, and you'd always see it sitting against the side wall. And there were a couple hoses on it and whatever.
Was it R2D2? What was that?
Well, we used to call it a droid because it looked like a little android. And back then, when you had the big, cast iron master cylinders with the big caps, the adapter was like a plate with a rubber seal under it, and you would chain it over the master cylinder. You would just like tighten the chain. That's how you did it back then. And it was the same thing. You would put the shop air into the droid, it would pressurize the master, and you just go around and open the bleeders. And it was a piece of cake. So that was the way. They still sell those to this day. They still sell.
Really?
Now the bigger problem is, just like with cooling systems, well, more so than cooling systems, is having the right adapter for your master cylinder.
Yeah. Because the master cylinders are so many different sizes.
Many, right?
Yeah, and to try and create an airlock with so many different sizes, you need quite an elaborate
of adapters is bigger than the kit for the tools. So, but sometimes you can buy just the ones like the ones you need if you're doing a certain type of car. You specialize in Toyotas or Hondas or Yugos. You could just buy
Yugos. That's a Campbell soup can. You could just get a regular Tupperware lid. It'll fit over those.
So I think that's going to be my next. I've been wanting one for a while, and I've talked to Brian about it. That's Maco Man Brian. For you who don't know, we've talked about them, and there's different manufacturers. People rebrand them. Most of the bleeding stuff I have is Mighty Vac. I will say this. This is all kind of like I told you last week. We're going to be doing a brake seminar with the Corvette Society at some point.
You are going to do that?
A brake bleed seminar, yeah.
Oh boy.
And so I've been thinking like how to, I've been already choreographing it in my mind. And I told those guys, I said, one of the best bleeders I have Mighty Vacs. I have the plastic Mighty Vac hand bleeder. I have the metal ones. I have a couple of them. I have probably 3 or 4 of them. But the bleeder I go to the one I took out of my bag yesterday was the one I got at Harbor Freight.
Really? That's your go-to?
It's got a metal frame. It's got a brass cylinder, and I just like it better. I don't know why. I just, that one is just my go-to.
Now, is that a pusher or a puller?
Oh, a puller. Yeah. It's okay. You pump it, and it pressurizes the cup. Then you open the valve, and the fluid goes out into the sealed cup. Same as the other. Same as the Mighty Vac. Exact same thing. Got a gauge on it. Pressure gauge.
So you're not getting in and pumping the pedal.
No.
At all.
Sometimes I will. The problem I have with that, I was talking with Tony about this at his shop last week. The problem with that is I like to see what's going into the bottle.
Yeah.
So now, having a car on a lift, first of all, puts you at a disadvantage. It's an advantage because you have the wheels off the ground. But now you have to be between the lift arms to push the brake. So I have like a broomstick that I use, and that's how I push the brake pedal.
Well, that's accurate.
It's fine. It's just like using your foot. But if you're doing the left rear wheel, the one right behind you, you can push that brake pedal and look, and you can see what's coming in. And maybe if you're doing the front right wheel, the door is open, maybe you can bend down and see, but you can't usually see the other side of the car.
The other side, right.
So, and I like to see what's coming out. I like to see, did I get air or how is the fluid looking? So I kind of do it by just blind luck. It's like, okay, give it 6 or 7 pumps, stop, close it, go to the next wheel.
Well, that's basically what I do. I will pump it and then jump out and go around and take a look. If you see foam at the top, you got a problem. If you see it's dirty or muddy, you got a problem. If you see it coming out clear, you're getting results. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't physically see it coming out on that side of the car. On the driver's side, the hose is long enough that I can. I actually set the brake, the cup on I have like almost like a tall pail, and I put the cup on that,
Yes.
So I'm able to look over the door as I'm pumping, and I'm able to see what's going into it.
Right. Right.
So, but that's just on, like you say, on the driver's side of the car,
Side, right.
not on the passenger side.
Well, like I said, on a lift, you're even more restricted because you have
Sure.
those lift arms there, and the
You
door
can't jump in.
It actually restricts you from movement. It really is tough. And that's why I went to the broomstick, because I would actually kneel down kind of and at the sill. I have the sill kind of near my shoulder, and I would use the sometimes I put the broomstick through the steering wheel to guide it and give it a lead, like yeah, yeah, yeah. You know?
How was that again? How was that again? Got it.
Bleed, you damn thing. Leader.
It's funny you should mention that. When I was bleeding the driver's side on the tracker, I was working because I didn't move the car over. I didn't move it closer to the Chrysler, so I had more room. I left it where it was, and I was able to work in the span of a regular tire iron a lug nut removal tool, just like, the star, like a T square.
Yeah, yeah.
And how wide is that? That's maybe about 2 feet wide, 2 feet long, I should say.
Yeah, they make them different sizes.
And that was it, because the end of that lug wrench was up against the shelves in my garage. So I was able to work and do exactly what you're saying within that confined space of less than 2 feet between the body of the car and my shelves.
Right.
So I'm like shimmying in and then dropping down and hooking up the brake bleeder and sliding up the shelf.
Right.
Shimmying out.
See, I want to tell you something.
What?
See, here's a guy who's on top of his game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Macho Man Brian.
Oh, okay.
As I was talking about a pressure brake bleeder, what does he do? He sends me 3 pictures of the pressurized brake bleeders. So I'm like, all right, we got to talk, buddy. We got to, that's what we got to do.
So the eyes and ears are upon us.
Absolutely. Hey, Rob, do you know if Rabbi Pearl has his own website?
Pearl Vision.
Our friend Isaac from Arizona just asked me if the rabbi has a website. I'll ask him. She'll know.
He has a Facebook page.
A Facebook page. You know what it's called?
Rabbi Pearl.
Kim, Rabbi Pearl's Facebook page is Rabbi Pearl.
That's wonderful. You find him right away.
I have a caller that wants to know. So
I don't know. I think just search it.
Okay.
It could be Rabbi Pearl, Chabad, Mineola. I'm not really sure.
Isaac, and that's Perl, correct?
Yes, Perl.
Search for Rabbi
No A.
Perl, right? No, and in Mineola, and you'll find his Facebook page. So I don't think he has a, and I don't think he has time to make YouTube videos because he's too busy helping people. So yeah, Isaac probably helped snake taming out in Arizona because he's building these metal backed fences in his yard that are like you could drive it's gonna stop a Hummer, so oh yeah.
Is he expecting a bomb or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
Making enemies?
I think out where he is, you have to be prepared for a lot of different intrusions.
John just texted us at 203-670-4127. He says, you need a Wi-Fi camera to remotely see. And I'm trying to figure out what we were talking about to have John tell us that.
So remotely see, well, as far as the show, you can see it because it's going to be on YouTube in a couple hours. I'll be posting it as soon as I get home.
Our cameras aren't good enough?
You're only going to see us. Yeah. That's
yeah, exactly.
Right. It's no big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
But does Rabbi Pearl use YouTube? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. So,
but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Some of the spatial restrictions that you have to endure on a lift. I never really thought about that.
It's not as easy as you think. It actually restricts you. I mean, it's great until you have to do anything inside the car.
Yeah.
Because the way you set up a car in a lift correctly, especially a front-wheel drive car, is you want the steering wheel and the dashboard pretty much in line with the posts of the lift, because that's just about the 50-50, the balance point of the car.
Right, because all of the weight in a front-wheel drive car is in the front. So if you set it up like a conventional vehicle, it will tip, we're assuming.
Well, the
wrong way.
But an older car, rear-wheel drive, is even worse because you can go even more forward. And now the door can open even less because of the posts of the lift. So, yeah, I don't like doing interior work. I got for Valentine's Day, I got my wife something to keep her safe. I got a webcam for her car.
Oh, great.
Not a webcam, a traffic camera,
Yeah.
because I have one in the FJ, and it's comforting to have. So I got her one, but I'm going to do the install. So now you got to go through the trim and get it, get the wiring down. It takes a bit. It's a little bit of work. And I said, you know what? I'll wait till the weather's nice. I'll do it at home in the driveway where I can open the doors and have full access.
Right. So, and now, just real fast, what kind of hard drive does it have? Does it?
It's a memory card. It takes a little. It takes a SD card.
What is? Does it have like a range as far as the time range, like an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours before you have to pop it out?
It's the SD card that really is your limiting factor, but it'll overwrite. The one in the FJ, I've had it in there for years. I haven't touched it because when it gets full, it just starts overwriting from the beginning again.
Oh, great! So it takes
really, you typically want to see the last event.
Right. You don't want to see what happened 3 weeks ago if nothing happened.
Right. I mean, you could take it out at any time and download it on your PC, your computer, whatever. But it's really for that last event. So, but yeah, the installation, I like to do it kind of, really cleanly. So there's a lot of interior work involved.
And I'm sure it's that thin ribbon wire or that old thin speaker wire.
It's a little, it's a little round, piece of wire, not big at all. Not big at all.
And you can probably stuff it on under the molding, like you say, and roll it down
under the trim.
As long as there's no leaks in the windshield or anything like that. Right. But yeah, that sounds like a great idea. That's a great plan, and especially in your area where the crazies are all around you.
Yeah,
on the island of Long.
Luckily, I haven't had to use mine. I haven't ever had to go and review mine, so that's good.
Right. That's awesome.
So I'll tell you what, we're coming to the end of the show, and one of the guys that I've been trying to get in who says he wants to come back in is Evan Steger from Evans Polishing, the guy where I got all my aluminum polish from.
Right.
He's a hard guy to nail down. Even when he's free, he's hard to nail down. So I'm still trying to get him. Hopefully we can get him in next week because I have a special project I want to talk about with him. And, hopefully we'll take care of that.
That's good.
Help if I put my right piece.
You got to find the right commercial, the right.
Yeah, I need our outro.
Oh.
So we're gonna
No, that wasn't it.
No. Let me see if we got a promo thing ready. She's good. Okay.
Yes, Ray can operate a radio show and speak at the same time. I'm watching you going, what are you doing?
So what do we say to the people waiting for me out in the parking lot?
Don't follow us home unless you have a halfway decent brake bleeder.
You're right. And then I'll talk to you. Otherwise, I'll be talking to Brian later. So that's it. We'll be back next week with more Motormouth Radio. Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino. We'll see you then on 90.3 WHPC.
See you, bye.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593